Now at 10, what we know about a series of suspected arsons in Joplin in recent months. Plus, new details of a lawsuit filed by the city of Neosho against Newton County regarding unpaid TIF money. And a Freeman Health System doctor talks about the neurological effects of COVID-19.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin police share some details of investigations into numerous suspected arsons over the past few months. This is KOIM News at 10. KOIM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with Captain William Davis on recent arson reports and with a Joplin store owner affected by one of the fires.
The city of Joplin is experiencing an increased number of suspected arsons in the area. All are either arson in the first or second degree. When contacting the Joplin Police Department to understand what they're seeing when it comes to these crimes, Captain Davis says he was unable to do an interview on the topic, but was able to give us details on 7 out of the 22 incidents. So far, one he has given us details on has resulted in an arrest. Christopher L. Smith of Joplin has been charged with arson in the first degree, as well as 6 counts of child endangerment after using a butane lighter to set the window frame of a residence on fire. According to Davis, Smith was suicidal, and police responded to that call a day before his arrest. Davis tells us Smith got into an argument with his girlfriend, then tried to self-harm and left the residence. He then came back early in the morning and tried to get in before setting a fire. A separate fire at 4th and Grand hasn't resulted in any arrests, but did concern the store owner of B&B Discount.
Went to shut the door and I had 15-foot flames coming out of my dumpster out in the alleyway. Wasn't nobody around except for one guy down on the opposite end of the alley.
The fire came from a dumpster behind the store, and according to JPD, that case is closed and no arrests have been made. According to Davis, some other area fires included 2 at 12th and Byers, as well as a shed on Empire Street. But the store owner says the fires worry him to be in Joplin.
There's a lot of arson stuff going around. That makes me worry about my family members and my friends.
In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOIM News.
Damp and dreary weather out there. Doug Heddy.
Yeah, kind of nasty for us today. Temperatures cold. We hung out upper 50s to near 60 most of the day, and now we're starting to drop off. Of course, the roads are wet, so if you are going to be out throughout the overnight hours tonight and tomorrow, be careful on the roadways as they can be a little bit on the slick side. But 62 for us today. 57 is where we started. So really our temperatures haven't gone anywhere all day long. We just have bands of light to moderate showers. We got this band this evening, a little bit of a break. Here comes another band. And this is what we're going to see as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. Just bands of light to moderate showers. Temperatures chilly. 53, 54 degrees. We'll back down near 50 as we go through the overnight hours tonight. A little bit of a lull, at least the next couple hours. And then it really picks up again late tonight into tomorrow morning. So if you're getting up early, make sure you take the rain gear, as you are going to need it really all day long. Of course, we're going to look at when this system is going to move out here in just a bit.
Catch you then. We're learning more about a lawsuit filed by the city of Neosho against Newton County. The city filed the suit earlier this month to recover TIF money that Newton County has not paid to the city. The TIF was established in 1999 to help fund improvements within the city. The county made payments to the city until September of 2015. Now, according to documents received by KOIM, the last payment the city received was for just over $24,000.
The city just wants the money that it's due under state law. And so the city wasn't anxious to go to court about this. And I think that the city would love to resolve this with the county.
The county has until November 2019 to respond to that suit. 2 people are dead after an elderly man drove the wrong way on I-44 in Jasper County. The Missouri Highway Patrol says Andrew Wilson, a 91-year-old from Neosho, was driving east in the westbound lanes of the interstate 3 miles east of Fidelity last night. Patrol says he hit a car driven by 58-year-old Janet Edwards of Sarcoxie head-on. Both drivers died at the scene. A single car crash near Lockwood claimed the life of a 45-year-old Humansville, Missouri man. That crash happened on County Road 32, 7 miles west of Lockwood. Missouri Highway Patrol says Glenn Briggs lost control on a gravel road, hit a fence, and his SUV flipped. Briggs died at the scene. Still ahead, a Freeman Health System doctor talks about the potential neurological effects of COVID-19. And health experts address the importance of talking to your kids about COVID-19 vaccinations. Freeman Health System today held its COVID media briefing discussing the neurological side of COVID-19. The National Institutes of Health created a database to track neurological symptoms associated with COVID. Those symptoms can include headache, loss of smell, or more rarely, problems such as stroke, brain disease, or other brain damage. However, some area medical professionals are noting another trend. Some people who were initially asymptomatic, had COVID without even knowing it, now show long hauler symptoms.
Sometimes the long COVID or the long haulers, it has nothing to do with the severity of COVID-19 acute symptoms they had. So our patients, if you check their antibodies later, they have antibodies, if they were not vaccinated. And then you realize that they did had an infection at some time, and they still have symptoms of chronic fatigue, headaches, mental fog, and they were not sick with COVID.
Dr. Opal says it's important to seek medical attention if you experience any of the neurological symptoms associated with COVID-19. The Jasper County Health Department reports 4 more COVID-19 deaths. The patients were 2 men in their 50s and 60s and 2 women, both in their 80s. The latest deaths bring the county's total to 235. Millions of younger children may soon be able to get vaccinated against COVID-19, but getting a shot probably doesn't top your child's list of fun things to do. While the full FDA and CDC still have to give the green light, experts say it's important to talk to your kids about what to expect. Mandy Gaither has more.
It's the COVID-19 protection many parents have been waiting for.
This concludes the vote.
The first hurdle has been cleared on the path toward authorizing COVID-19 vaccines for children ages 5 to 11. And the time to talk about the vaccine with your children is before the shot.
So a lot of times they get really revved up and heightened about the unknown of how bad it could be.
Therapist Jody Baumstein with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Strong for Life says for most kids, the conversation should come a few days before the vaccination, so there's not a long period of time to worry about it.
As much as possible, try to connect it to what they already know, which is that they've had vaccines before and they've gotten through it.
Baumstein says parents should be careful not to pass their own anxiety to their child. Prepare them, but stay away from words like shot or poke, which can cause fear in some.
So you can talk to them about how they might feel some pressure when the vaccine goes into their arm, helping to describe it, but keeping it as simple and straightforward as possible.
Finally, Baumstein says talk about vaccination anxiety. First, help them to know the cues, what happens when they feel anxious. Then practice ways to cope ahead of time. That could be holding on to a favorite stuffed animal for comfort, listening to music, practicing mindfulness, or deep breathing. And make sure they know why they're getting vaccinated.
Reminding them that this is a way that we can keep themselves and we can keep other people safe.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Baumstein says it's important for parents to listen to what their children are thinking and feeling about the COVID-19 vaccine and validate those feelings. Let them know that any feelings of being confused or scared is okay and normal. Later, Halloween spending could reach record levels this year. We're going to look at the numbers.
Plus, it looks like more rain sticking around tonight and on Thursday. I'll give you those details coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be kind of a raw, nasty day for us today. Temperatures chilly. We had on and off light to moderate showers most of the day, even a few little thunderstorms during the morning hours. So it's been wet, it's been cold, it's going to get worse as we head into Thursday. Still wet and a little bit colder. Nice shot right now, live shot of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. But we've had the rain all day long, just periods of light to moderate rain. Where you see the yellows popping up on the radar, that is moderate rain, and then the green is light rain, but it's just kind of band after band. We're actually in a little bit of a lull right now, but you can still see we have these light to moderate showers right through the metro area from Pittsburgh, Joplin, Carthage, Neosho, and then heading south to about Miami and also Commerce. So if you are going to be on the roadways tonight, be careful. They are going to be wet. And look at our rainfall amounts already. Where you see the greens, we're at an inch or above, a little bit less once you get out toward Iola, Chanute, Parsons, and then toward Girard. But everybody has picked up at least a half an inch of rain as we've worked through the daytime hours today. Temperature's chilly too. We're sitting low to mid 50s. We're going to continue to slide off over the next couple hours. Currently outside, it's 53, northerly winds at about 5, and of course our humidity is high at 96%. But this storm system, it's a slow mover. You can see the circulation out toward Wichita, so you get showers that go from north to south and then south to north, rotates counterclockwise. But because it's a slow mover, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. The main system is really digging deep across the southern plains. So when this returns in the pattern about 1 week before Christmas, we're going to have a shot at a big snow. So we'll have to watch that around December 20th or so. For us tonight, a little bit of a lull. Over the next couple hours, just some light showers. Then it picks up again. So here's 4 a.m. Let's go into the morning hours, on and off. Light showers through the morning. Let's go to about the noon hour. Much of the same. Let's go into the afternoon hours. Much of the same. But look at our temps. Most of us are sitting into the upper 40s. So here's your day planner. We start at 49. We may inch upward to 50. And we go backwards to about 48. On and off showers. Also windy. Northwesterly winds at about 15 to 25. It's going to be kind of a nasty day. Also, we're going to have some high school football games, playoff games. I guess not playoff games yet, but high school football games in southeastern Kansas. So it's going to be wet and cold. Showers continue tomorrow night. After midnight, they'll slowly start to diminish, but still even into Friday morning, we're going to have some on and off showers, and then hopefully we'll get a little bit of sunshine by the time we head into late Friday, but still the next 2 days, not very good. We've already had an inch, upwards to 1.5 inches of rain. Here's additional rainfall. I think most areas about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So storm totals are going to be nearing 3 inches from this storm system. That would make, if you add on the rain from last Friday, about 6-7 inches in a week. 50 tomorrow, 54 Friday. We do clear out for the weekend. Looks good. Kind of chilly, but it looks good. Halloween, not too shabby. And then here comes the rain again on Monday, Tuesday, into Wednesday.
Of course, eventually it had to come back. But you know, if we're going to have nice weather, the time to have it would certainly
on the weekend.
be on the weekend.
Exactly.
That's exactly the plan. Sounds good, Doug. Well, Halloween spending is expected to reach record-breaking levels this year. That's according to the latest numbers from the National Retail Federation. We're going to take a look at just how some of that money is being spent.
To celebrate this spooky holiday this year, up from 58% last year.
Consumers are back up to pre-pandemic levels when it comes to the number of people celebrating.
That's according to the National Retail Federation, which estimates that spending on Halloween-related items will break a record at over $10 billion. That's $2 billion more than last year, despite the ongoing supply chain crisis. The NRF estimates that the average person will spend around $100 this year for the holiday. Their survey found that most of that is going to purchase costumes, decorations, and of course, candy.
Candy is another big area where consumers will be spending, not just to treat themselves, but for all those trick-or-treaters who might be heading out this year, who might have had to skip that part of Halloween last year.
The NRF says the record-breaking spending is not surprising, with more families feeling comfortable getting back to trick-or-treating and more young people feeling comfortable going to parties with bigger groups.
That's an age group that has really helped drive a lot of Halloween spending in the past, so it's good to see them kind of coming back into the picture.
The NRF survey found 46% of people are planning on dressing up, with more saying they'll also get their pets into the Halloween spirit.
About 1 in 5 of those celebrating Halloween plan to dress up their pet this year, which is the highest we've ever seen.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Meanwhile, the National Confectioners Association reports candy and chocolate sales are also soaring above 2020 levels and have been. The trade group says retail sales are $74 million in the 4 weeks ending on September 5th of 2021. That's up 42% from the same period in 2020. Google takes action to help delete photos of minors from the internet. The tech giant announced today it has a tool that allows parents and children under 18 years old to request pictures be removed from its Images tab and as thumbnails in searches. Previously, people could ask for personal information and photos be removed if they were in certain categories, such as non-consensual explicit. But now Google is extending the categories to include minors. The tech giant says teams will review each request for image removal. Some experts say the move could help lessen cyberbullying and erase potentially harmful pictures or information from lingering online. Smoke 'em if you got 'em may be a philosophy more people have adopted during the pandemic. According to the Federal Trade Commission, cigarette sales went up last year for the first time in 20 years. It was only a 1.4% increase, but the number had been going down each year of the 21st century. It's not clear exactly why people are buying more cigarettes. Some experts say increased isolation and uncertainty increase the risk of substance abuse. The Wall Street Journal reports more smokers are switching back to cigarettes due to new restrictions on flavored vaping devices. Cigarette maker Altria says it believes Americans are simply, quote, adding nicotine occasions to their day. About 14% of adults in the U.S. smoke. They bought 203.7 billion cigarettes in 2020. Coming up in sports, Coach of the Year honors for Pitt State's Kyle Rutledge, and the Missouri Southern Lions prepare to host Missouri Western in their annual Hall of Fame game. Jacob Leonard has that and more up next.
The Missouri Southern Lions have just 3 games left in the regular season. This weekend, the Lions return home, hosting the Missouri Western Griffins. Both Southern and Western are 3-5 heading into this one. Last weekend was a tough one for the Lions, falling 24-21 on the road to Emporia State. They did finish the game strong, but could not overcome a 10-0 hole they dug themselves in the first quarter. It's the Lions' 3rd loss by 4 points or fewer.
I think if we had played the first quarter like we did the third and the fourth, I think we'd win that football game. I looked at it, and we've had 5 of our 8 games this year have been one-score ball games. And so, from an outsider perspective, I think the difference between 3-5 and 5-3 is this huge deal. But from inside the program, I'm telling you, there's not a huge difference. If you flip on our film, we've improved every week. We've come to work every day, and I'm extremely proud of our guys for that. And we've gotten better, and that's the key here is to continue to get better. The best teams just continue to get better all the way throughout.
The Joplin Eagles are still alive in the Missouri Class 5 volleyball playoffs. The Eagles will be in action on the road tomorrow night, facing Nixa in the sectional round of the state bracket. Now, Joplin got to this point by claiming the Class 5 District 12 title on Monday. It's their first district title in nearly 30 years. Now, the Eagles know it'll be tough tomorrow night, facing a team that beat them in the regular season, but they're excited to get another shot when it counts.
There's only 16 teams left in Class 5, and so it's really exciting to be one of those 16 teams. Not everybody gets to do this every year, and these girls, it's one of the first times for them in a really long time, and so they are extremely grateful, and I don't think they're taking a moment for granted. They're just ready to rock and roll. They are one of the hardest working group of kids I've ever met. I've said that since I met them. They work harder than any group of kids I've ever coached before, and they constantly raise the bar. They meet their expectations and then they raise them, and so I think that's kind of something that's kind of pushed them all season and allowed them to kind of succeed.
Joplin faces Nixa in Nixa tomorrow night at 6:30. The winner of that one moves on to the state quarterfinals on Saturday. Pittsburgh State's Kyle Rutledge has been named the MIAA Men's Cross Country Coach of the Year. Rutledge led the Gorilla Men to their first ever cross country league championship over the weekend in his first year as head coach. Pitt State had 4 top 10 finishers at the league meet, earning all MIAA honors. Next up for the Gorillas, they'll compete at the NCAA Division II Central Regional in Joplin on November 6th. And that's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Specialist Charles Sorensen served in the U.S. Army. His hometown, Liberal, Missouri. And we are proud to salute Specialist Charles Sorensen. He's tonight's four-state hero. The Pittsburgh Community Theater is sinking its teeth into a new production, and tonight we got a little taste. The theater is performing Bram Stoker's Dracula. Tonight we got a chance to check out the production before its official debut. The show is a perfect date night opportunity, but you might not want to bring the kids. The Community Theater says it'll have lots of frights.
It was a surprise, and I wasn't expecting to be like the bad guy, but it feels kind of good. I get to be angry, I get to yell, I get to run around. I like putting lots of energy into my roles, and Dracula definitely gets to bring the heat.
Yeah, I would think so. The show's going to run at 7 on Friday, 2 p.m. and 7 on Saturday, and at 2 p.m. on Halloween. In the meantime, kind of spooky weather out there.
It is, and it gets worse as we go into Thursday. Even colder. We're going to be holding 48 to 50 throughout the day, just on and really on. Light rain throughout the day, a 100% chance. That means every single one of you is going to get rain tomorrow.
Yeah, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. Final sports notes.
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas host Central Oklahoma on Saturday. We'll hear from the Gorillas on that matchup right here tomorrow night.
Very good. Hey, thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you tonight with a video of Drakenmore Haunted Trail in Joplin. Don't forget our morning show begins at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.